A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, and I just note I was so busy looking at all the news that I am 1 minute late. Patricia and David with you again this evening, ZMH 286. And before I start, I would just have a couple of health and welfares. If anybody knows the whereabouts of the vessel Blue Star is single-handed with Larry Mims on board. He left Sydney in 2024. I know that's a long time ago, to head north. If anyone knows where he is, if you could drop me a line, that would be good. No, it's no panic. It's just somebody wants to get in touch. But we do have a problem boat. It is Exit Strategy. And those on ARCA, Fran and Ed, and also Soy Libre and Andy, will know what they're experiencing at the moment, but they have put out their EPIRB because they have got torn sails and no engine. It is a 20 by 6 metre vessel, I assume a catamaran. Those from Marsden, I think they left from Marsden to go to Fiji, will know whether it is or it isn't, but there's 3 on board, and they are currently, based on their EPIRB, at 26 degrees 15.93 and 174 degrees 05.33 east, and they are drifting to the west. And in fact, that position, let me tell you, is 367 miles east-northeast of Norfolk. They were on their way to Fiji. Now, they are taking on a bit of water, but it's all under control. I know nobody can do much to help them, but if Andy or Ed on ARCA could give them a VHF call later, I'm sure they would be happy to talk to you and have that contact. And if you could pass on, David will be giving the weather shortly, and they would probably like to know that if they just hold themselves together until lunchtime tomorrow, the wind will be southwest, and they might be able to get up the one remaining jib that they can use that's too rough to do anything at the moment. So
You've been in contact with RCC?
I have been in contact with RCC, and that information has come from RCC. They are getting up-to-date position information because of the EPIRB. The AIS is much slower. So anyway, I will talk now to Soy Libre, who is patiently waiting for that wind to change as well. I will tell you that here at Gulf Harbour, we have virtually no wind. It's about 10 knots, the wind backed this afternoon to the south. Our barometer is 997.7. and dropping as a low is forming on top of us. 18 degrees C though, the southerly hasn't had a chance to take effect yet, and 85% cloud cover. Soy Libre, Gulf Harbour Radio.
Thank you, Patricia. This is Daniel, Soy Libre, and my position is 25 degrees, 40 minutes south. 178 degrees, 1 minute. And this too, I've been waiting for that window to go open tomorrow. And so I have those keys. And the wind speed is around 18 knots, 20 knots out of the northeast. This morning I saw gusts as high as 238. The 12 to about, well, they were about 3 meters out of the north, north-northeast, and cloud cover is 100%, and the barometer is 1004.3. I will give exit strategy a little bit of a call once I see. Over.
Yeah, thank you for that. And Sahula Lynn, if you could just stand by, please. We have Soy Libre at 2540 south, 178 12 east, and the Hove 2 Wonder what you do all day, Andy. Have a bit of a snooze, have a read. 18 to 20 knots from the northeast. Earlier on, gusting 36. The swell is 2 metres from the north-northeast. 100% cloud cover and 1004.3. And I'm going to probably wait till we talk to Arca before I pass the microphone to David, but you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So apart from the conditions, yes, he's saying westerlies by tomorrow. I don't know whether that means at midnight, 1 minute past midnight, or sometime tomorrow morning, but I think he's looking at sou'westers by noon. So sounds like things are going to improve for you, Andy. Over.
Yeah, believe it or not, I didn't see any rain last night or today, and well, there was a little bit of kind of like a really heavy, like, I don't know, fog, but that was about it. This morning the wind was up, and I was freezing.
It's interesting that you got no rain, because we've had this system is virtually straight up and down, although slightly northwest. But we got horrendous rain overnight. In fact, it was raining most of yesterday. I think I reported rain yesterday when we were talking. But it was certainly really, really coming down last night. So, you only got the wind. I suppose you feel a bit cheated with the lack of a boat washdown. Over.
Yeah, I estimated that the wind would turn around noon tomorrow, and I'm waiting for Dave to confirm that, hopefully.
Yep, roger that. He's anxious to get the microphone off me. I was going to talk to Arca, but he might get violent if I don't pass the microphone.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, okay, Andy, I'm looking at where you are on satellite imagery, and all of those booming heavy clouds, they're all rain-bearing, CBs, heavy squalls. They are just to the east of you by probably about maybe 60, 70 miles. So you're in an area of stratocube, nimbostratus, altoq, all that sort of thing. The axis of the front is past you. However, it won't fully be gone until that wind turns around to the west. I don't think it'll be southwest. I think it'll be west. As to when that's going to happen, I'm not sure about that. But let's see. I know for sure it'll happen by lunchtime. And no, actually, it's going to be at least lunchtime, maybe a little bit later before the main band actually passes you, I think. So that's the story for you, Andy. Over.
Thanks very much, Dave. That's kind of confirmation. What I did is I pulled in a brick that had like 3 hours, every 3 hours. It came up with somewhere around, noon or after that, like 8 later.
Yep, I'll just pass it back again. No,
that's fine. Yeah.
Yep. No, he doesn't need it anymore, but his fingers keep going to grab it, so it's a bit confusing. Yep, well, yeah, I wondered what you were doing all day, so you're downloading Gribs and keeping your fingers crossed. Yeah, boy, it's an interesting system, all right, but it's, really interesting that I'm just looking at, he's positioned you on the satellite there, and it's interesting that you've had no rain there. All right, we'll just stand by, and thank you. I'm not sure, you might be a little bit too far away, but if you leave it till later, VHF will be better when the sun goes down properly. So it would be good if your Ed could say hi to Chris and family on exit strategy. Right, let's go to Arca. And before I forget, this morning Andrew from iCandy wanted to say hello to you and Fran. Arca, Gulf Harbour Radio.
Holy smokes, that's a a blast from the past. Yeah, you're loud and clear, Patricia, and I think I'm through the edge of it. It started about 3 o'clock, 3:30 this afternoon. The bar went down to 1002.5. Rain started, and it got major rain about 4 o'clock. And we got the wind shift came through just about a half an hour ago. I've got wind from the west, but there's nothing in it. There's 5 knots or less. So, but the seas have gone down considerably. It's no high clouds or anything, but it's all low clouds, and it was just a major downpour. Like not so much a squall, just a downpour.
Yeah, it's good that you get the downpours because that does help to settle the seas, doesn't it? Flatten them out a bit. Particularly, they were up when you talked this morning at about 2.5 meters. So that's real good. And I'm sure Exit Strategy will be happy to learn that if you get in touch with them, because they have not been able to do anything with replacement of sails because of the rough seas. So, that's good. So what's the current situation? Over?
I'm just, right now I'm only doing 1.2 knots with my shortened sails up. It's been raining so hard I didn't want to go out and try to do stuff. So I'm trying to fill in a little bit. And I get about 120 miles east of Exit Strategy. He's exactly 2 degrees east of me, over. Or west of me, over.
Yeah, that's good. That's roughly there's a Canadian boat that's in the mix there somewhere. He's the closest one, but we're not in touch with that boat. So, you'll know exactly what they've been dealing with. They've got no engine and a couple of ripped up sails. So, and it just seems to be a bit too rough for them to do anything. But it's good that you're reporting the seas down. Give me your current position, over.
Roger, current position 2708. I'll make it 09. We're that close. 2709 south. 17605 east. And like I said, I'm doing about one and a half knots on a course of 28 magnetic, which makes it 40 true roughly. Waiting for the wind to fill in, and the seas have dropped off considerably.
Okay, that sounds good. And I've got you on my trusty satellite imagery screen here. And yes, you've gone through the main frontal band. The winds are west, you say. However, there is a secondary trough that is running northwest to southeast. And you're almost in the middle of it. In fact, most of the cloud, you might, I didn't hear what you said on your cloud cover. What did you say, over?
Just low cloud cover, completely 100%, and the rain is backed off now, but it's still 100% cloud cover, and it's pretty low, over.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I need to get the resolution a little bit better on this screen of mine, but you're very close to where it looked like it was fairly clear, but for the most part, strato Q, which is what you've got. However, in this trough, there are CBs and the potential of 1 or 2 heavy squalls. There's just the clouds are scattered that are causing this. There's not many of them, but the whole system is moving more or less to the east. So when the wind changes to the southwest, you'll know that you're through with that trough, and that could be any time tomorrow. So we'll see what it sounds like when we talk to you tomorrow. But that's good. That's about all I can think of at the moment. So good going. Over.
Yeah, it just now started raining hard again.
Yeah, okay, I could believe that. So yeah, you're not totally through it all yet, but close. Another 24 hours or less, and things will be good southwest winds for a while to get you up to Minerva or wherever you're going. Okay. Here's the chief.
All right, well, that sounds good, and I will let the RCC know that either you or definitely Andy, but Andy, you might be a bit far away, can be in touch with the boat, Chris, on exit strategy and just pass on the information. They just have to hold themselves together for another while, and they will see what you've just described happening.
Yeah, one other comment that the RCC fellow made was that they do have a jib that they're able to put up when conditions allow. So it's not like they're sailless, in other words. But it sounds like they left the main up and it got shredded, and they're not able to get it down because of the high winds that they've got now. But once it all calms down for them, then they will be able to get that jib up. Unfortunately, they're also in and around that trough, and the winds will go to the southwest, which is good, but they could be up to 25 knots in that, 25 knots. So how they're going to get the main down, don't ask me. So, yep, sorry, that's the story there. Here's the chief.
All right, and I just looked to see the name of that boat that's not too far from them. Well, 45 miles is a long way in those conditions. Is a boat called Downstream, a Canadian boat. And for some reason, Andy, there is a boat called Blue Fortune. I'm just going to click on it to see what it is. It's a Taiwanese boat, and it's actually it's got a purple colour, which means but I think it is a fishing boat, but it's going at a course of 129 and it's above you, so just be aware of that. All right, I'm just going to see if I can raise Sahula, who will be confirming that they are in Bundaberg, and then it would be good to go to Scoots just to get the updated Minerva weather. Sahula, Gulf Harbour Radio.
Gulf Harbour Radio. This is Sahula. I cannot hear you really well. I don't know. Can you copy? Over.
Roger. I have you clearly. Go ahead, Lynn. Go ahead.
Our position, south, 24 degrees, 26, east, 2 days, 48 minutes, on a course of 240 degrees, coast reaching the stop. With 21 knots in wind. Of course, the wind is at the south-southeast and 1.5 meters swell. No clouds at all anywhere. And we are 25 miles from the river at Bundaberg. And we'll be very glad to get there this evening and anchor and not have to worry about customs until tomorrow morning. All good on board, and it's been a messy passage, but we're just taking down the boat here, and thank you for being along for the trip that we're doing after. And David also said this morning's confusion was just trying to find if there was any warning about overfall when there were strong southerly winds near Freight State, and we found out for ourselves that there's no information written anywhere, and all is well. Over.
Yeah, I got the message. The propagation was so bad this morning, but I did get the message that you were in touch with Coast Guard. Could you just repeat your longitude, Lynn? Over.
Our longitude, 152 degrees east, 152 and 48 minutes.
Okay, got that. I was expecting you to be in tonight, so apologies for a bit of a late call-up. South, 2426 degrees, 15248 east, on a course of 240 true at 6 knots. 21 knots south-southeast wind at the moment, 1.5 metre swell. No clouds, at least it's been a good sunny day for you, and you are 25 miles from the river entrance. So, okay, well, stay safe tonight and just chug your way in there, and hopefully all will be well in the morning. I guess you want to do that in daylight. So thanks, Lynn, and you two have a very good last evening. Over.
Thank you, Bob. We are looking forward to a good night's sleep together quietly. And then a major cleanup, a lot of coffee gear here. Very cold weather here. Over.
Yeah, I can imagine, but oh well, you'll probably have some family support on that one, hopefully. All right. Yeah, you certainly had an interesting last few days with that low forming. All right, we'll clear with Sahula, who are certainly smelling the barn at Bundaberg. I will now see if Scoots is on frequency. Scoots, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour. Howdy, copy, over.
Yeah, good copy here, and thanks for the email, Daryl. And I guess you three are sitting there thinking, oh, how nice to have got in there. What are the current conditions, over?
Yeah, hi David, Patricia, good copy tonight. So yeah, still finished. Thank you for your guidance. Our current wind speed is 20 knots from a wind direction of 0172. Copy.
Yep, so we'll basically call that a smidgen off northerly, 20 knots, and I presume it's sort of been about that all day, or maybe it's slightly back. So I guess you've just had a peaceful day on board.
Cloud cover.
What's the cloud cover, over?
Cloud cover's 100% now, but earlier this afternoon was actually relatively clear. So yeah, we had a pretty quiet day. Need to provide some assistance to friends on Papillon that had a tender issue, but all's well there as well.
Okay.
Hi, Daryl, from me, and I'm looking at where you are on my satellite imagery, and I see a cloud cluster coming your way, mostly cumulonimbus. It's not huge. It's maybe about maybe about 120. Well, I guess it is pretty big. Maybe 100 to 120 miles wide. A whole bunch of clouds, all in a cluster, and they're moving more or less northwest to southeast. The clouds, but the whole system, like yesterday, is moving more to the east, a little more to the east. So I would suspect you'll be into that in the next few hours, and I'll be interested to hear when we talk tomorrow what actually happened. So that's it from me. Here's the chief.
Okay, and thanks for the report, Daryl. That's really useful. And with that, I'm going to, I know there's people waiting to talk about, David, to talk about possible passage weather at the end of the week. And I'm going to pass the microphone now.
Okay, so first let's get into the synoptic data for our area. And the prominent system that is affecting our weather in New Zealand and north, actually, all the way up to the islands, is a very large depression whose isobars, cyclonic of course, reach up to Vanuatu, Fiji, and yeah, it's big. The eastern high pressure system's isobars continue to clash with those of the depression, and the resultant cold front runs from the Chathams, believe it or not, north-northwest to just to the west of Fiji. Now, by lunch on Friday, the depression lies over East Cape here in New Zealand, tracking south by Saturday. Also at this time, the next high lies over Brisbane, moving east, so that by Sunday, the 8th, it lies just south of New Caledonia. Fairly weak. Looks like about 1018, maybe 1020 millibar. So back to the weather on Friday. Around lunchtime tomorrow, the cold front will be pretty much over Fiji and the Minervas. The structure of this front shows plenty of thunderstorm activity from Fiji south to about 28 south. Now there is a secondary trough that I mentioned to the other boats earlier that runs from just east of the North Island toward New Caledonia, and winds to the immediate west of the cold front are westerlies. Winds west of the trough are southwesterly. So that is the synoptic picture. Now, we've been asked to comment on the next passage window north to Fiji or Tonga. Departure Friday has been offered. To us, that has strong winds out of the southwest. And I picked 34 south and 173 east. And I'm looking at 25 to 35 knots around lunchtime tomorrow. I picked this lat long to represent what I would consider real conditions, not altered by land conditions. So a Saturday departure at this location is, I would say it's going to be 30 to 40 knots west-southwest as well around lunchtime on Saturday. So that will be at 34, 173. So leaving either of these days requires, we would say, a strong stomach and a strong boat. Now, Sunday is a different story. Winds lighten to westerlies, maybe 15 to 20. So quite a nice beginning. So using the average times that we use to get north, usually it takes about 3 days to reach 30 south. And when you do reach 30 south, it's considered we're well into the passage, kind of saying let the games begin at that point. So 3 days there. So to get from 30 south to, say, Minerva, it usually takes 4 to 5 days. So when planning this passage, waypoints and destination ETAs are really important. So let's say you left on Sunday the 8th and you'd arrive at 30 south, we'll say by the 11th or 12th. Our new high center would be to our east, and winds look to be north-northeast, actually a prelude to the next front that's heading to New Zealand. Arriving, let's say, in Minerva on the 15th, we're just in time for that next frontal band let's say it'll give the boat a good washdown because it'll be over Minerva at that point. So in a nutshell, you really need to decide what you're going to do. There's departure conditions, which are important in terms of comfort, and then there's arrival conditions, which obviously are important because you don't want to have any nasty weather. So I've given some ideas, and from our standpoint, it doesn't look that hot, but it's probably doable. Leaving a little bit later than Sunday might not be such a good idea either. And I'm sure if you look at the models, you'll be able to see that yourselves. And just a note on the models, again, our mantra, they're just an idea based on incomplete initial data and using the formulas of the atmosphere, not fully understood. Church is laughing now, but that's our mantra here at Gulf Harbour Radio. So that's my input to the next couple of days. So we'll be anxious to hear from you folks as to what you decide to do, and we'll be here to chat with you. So here's the chief.
And I did suggest to him that he might, I hope that went out on streaming, because I just noticed that the streaming microphone here was not operational. Well, they'll kill me on this end of the streaming line here. Okay. If anybody has any questions from that or needs any repeats, let me know. I did ask him to have a look at what it would be like maybe a week from this weekend, but as he pointed out to me, as if I was an idiot, and I probably was for asking, it's all very well to look at departure weather, but if the models don't go far enough for another 10 days after that departure, you really have to wait. So there you go. It did work. Thank you very much, Taku. I wonder, maybe David just touched it when he passed the microphone over. So that's good that microphone worked. And if anybody has any questions, nothing's coming through. Yep, the Patrick up there at Austrika, they got it up there at Okua, and so did Taku. So all good. Is there anybody wanting any questions or comments or whatever on the radio? Please call now.
Okay, so Libre.
Yep, so Libre. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Patricia, I think yesterday it was mentioned how many boats there were at Minerva currently right now. I'm just curious if you remember what that was. So,
yeah, and I think Scoots might still be on the AIS. I think he said yesterday there were about 5 boats there, but I think I saw that there were more there at the moment, but I have to get the, oh yes, there are a lot more. Stand by, I'll just talk to Scoots. That's the easiest way. Scoots, Daryl, are you still there? No, he's not there now, so let me just try and find it on the AIS. Oh, God, did you want to say anything while I need my 2 hands here? The trouble is, it's such a tiny spot, and I have to go right in with the AIS. Let me tell you who's there. There's only about 7 there at the moment, but this is people that have got their AIS on, of course. We've got Scoots and Papillon, Ikati, Paradise, Orbit, and Mango, the ones that have got their AIS on, so that's 2, 4, 6. But there could be others, Andy. Over.
all right, thanks. Appreciate it.
But there's plenty of room for a lot more. I think one year we had about 30 boats in there, didn't we? I think the Air Force took a picture of them, and I asked for the picture, but I never did get it. Okay, is there anybody else?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, could you give me the exit strategy position again for the first question, just to make sure I got that right?
Sure, and this was about an hour ago from the folk at the RCC. They were at, where are we?
2615.
I'm just looking up. 26 degrees, 15.93. Might as well give you the full works. That's 2615.9 and 174 degrees, 05.3 east. Over.
Okay, yep, I copied that. That puts them 2 degrees west of me. The other question was, hello this morning again. Could you repeat that so I make sure I got that right?
What did you ask for?
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, could you just ask the question again? Something about this morning.
Yeah, this morning you said there was a big hello, and I want to make sure I got that one right.
Oh, yes, that was from Andrew on Eye Candy. So, yeah, the trouble with being around a long time, Ed, is that you know all sorts of people. Over.
Yeah, right. Well, listening to the net this morning, it wasn't real clear and everything, but I haven't talked to Christian in 15 years, and
Stand by,
some of the
please.
ones longer than that.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, Christian is planning to go north again. And I'd hate to tell you how old he is now. Over.
Oh, I'm sure it's the late, 80s or something. Yeah, we just got major and thunder and lightning here. Over.
Oh, roger that. All right, I'll leave you to it. Yes, that's what David had expected. Okay, is there anybody else? No, there is nobody else, and I need to take a phone call, so I will leave the frequency to you all and wish you all a good, safe night. And we will, of course, be back again tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. Sorry about that, but we're right in the middle of a radio schedule.